Chapter 16, problem number 3. This is something we've done before, but it's also a question that is slightly new, or there's a slight difference or twist on the problem. In this particular case, calculate a simple return on your investment, and in part A, for bond A, simply take the interest, the coupon, or the payment of the $100 divided by the current price of the bond, and you have 12.5%. So if you invest $800, you get $100 back. You get a 12.5% return on your money. Now, for bond B, you invest $900, but you get $100 back. So you wind up with a lower rate of return of 11.11%. So in part B, it just restates what I just said. Bond A has a higher current yield, but you're not just interested in the current yield, you're interested in the yield to maturity. We have actually done this many times in the course. We did it in chapters 9 and chapter 11 and even in chapter 13 a little bit. So in this particular case, you're familiar with how to calculate the yield, or IY. Once again, I will add the plus minus to the solution. And because it is semi-annual, you need to divide the payment by 2, and you need to multiply the number of years by 2. So also add the plus minus, which I think I've gotten very familiar with at this point. And you can see that the first one has a much longer yield to maturity than the second bond. So you're going to go from $800 to $1,000 over 10 years versus going from $900 to $1,000 over 2 years. So the bond value will increase to $1,000 at the end because that's the maturity. But because one has a longer maturity, being bond A 10 years and bond B only 2 years, you're going to get interest. Plus, you're going to gain $200 for A, but it's over 10 years. And for bond B, you're going to gain $100, but it's only over 2 years. So in this case, you can see that the yield to maturity is actually higher for bond B because it's better to gain $100 over 2 years than $200 over 10, in addition to the $100 of interest you're going to get. So bond A has a yield to maturity of 13.74%. Bond B has a yield to maturity of 16.04. So in part D, it just reiterates what I just said. So because of the difference of the increase in value from 800 to 1,000 over 10 years versus 900 to 1,000 over 2, which is actually better. And that's how we conclude this particular example.